for help to the public.
I say, Kenny, just call me. Just pick up the phone. You can talk to me about anything. That's what I text him. Call me, text me, anything.
It's not characteristic of Kenny to not reach out to us and let us know what's going on. He loves to travel, so this trip has been something that he's really looked forward to.
Delen's family says the school in France has filed a missing persons report, but they feel helpless trying to locate their own son. His parents say authorities might be able to locate him if he uses his passport, but that document is not necessary if he's traveling on the ground throughout much of Europe.
The mystery there. David Lee, thanks. Stay on it. David Lee, New York.
This broke also the suspected Lockerbie bomb maker appearing in D.C. court today, nearly 34 years to the day after the terror attack killed hundreds on Pan Am Flight 103 over Scotland. 190 of those victims were Americans. The suspect is a Libyan national, just extradited to the U.S. Fox News senior strategic analyst General Jack Keane joins me now. I want you to listen to one of the victims' brothers. He was on with Bill last hour.
I spoke independently to a FBI agent who was involved in the investigation and a Scottish police agent. Both of them said to me, Iran is involved up to their necks, but we do not have criminal information. So there's only one person that can get all of this out and give us the full truth, and that's President Biden.
General, I'm sure you've covered this story for years, as you were in the Army at the time, and now that you have this outcome, do you think it is possible that Iran was maybe involved?
Well, certainly you can't rule that out, given the history of what they've done in the Middle East to attempt to drive the United States out of the Middle East. I mean, they bombed us in the early 80s. 248 Marines killed in the barracks. They bombed our embassy in Lebanon at the same time, the annex, the Kuwait embassy, Khobar Towers in '96. Yes, of course. But listen, intelligence services and the FBI deserve some credit here, certainly, for finally getting Abu Masoud in our hands. But I'll tell you what, Dana, I really feel for these families and how frustrated they must be. I mean, this attack took place in the last month of the Reagan administration, so they're moving into the Bush administration the following January. And who made the decision not to treat this as an act of war because it was a terrorist act? And in short order, we knew it came from Libya. After all, in '91, we charge a Libyan intelligence official and we charge a Libyan airline official for being complicit in what we're defining as a crime. But going back to '86, in April of that year, a nightclub in Germany, in Berlin, was bombed by Libya. One soldier was killed and about 20 or 30 were, about 50 were wounded, and other Germans as well. 9 days later, we conducted a massive attack against Libya based on some very hard intelligence with 100 airplanes, bases, barracks, and Gaddafi's headquarters. His adopted son was killed. 2 of his sons were wounded. It's always been reported that he was wounded as well. That was treating a terrorist act as an act of war and giving us the authority to react and retaliate against the nation state. We made some kind of a policy change here and didn't retaliate. And I know that must be frustrating to the families. And then finally, these 2 who were charged, it took 10 years to get them into a courtroom, and one gets found not guilty. And that courtroom was a Scottish one, and I know that our families must have been frustrated it wasn't an American courtroom. The other individual was found guilty, but recall what happened here. 8 years later, he was released because he had cancer and he was terminal, and he went home a hero, and he lived for 3 more years with his family and friends. This is the frustration our families have gone through here for 3+ decades. You've got to feel for them having gone through this.
One of the things that Bert Emmerman said as well is if our response had been different to the Lockerbie bombing, that maybe such gigantic and massive attacks like the 9/11 attacks might not have been possible because we would have had a different posture. Of course, that's a hypothetical, but I think it gets to your point that you have to respond to terrorist attacks for what they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the mastermind of the 9/11 attack did say that the feeble response by the Clinton administration to the 2 bombings of U.S. embassies in Africa and to the USS Cole contributed to their boldness in thinking they could really bring down America psychologically and economically by conducting an attack against the American people. So clearly there was correlation of past U.S. policy decisions that did contribute to 9/11, and that's an established fact developed by the Commission on 9/11.
General Jack Keane, thank you on this day where we finally, the wheels of justice turn slowly, but they're turning, and I agree with you. You have to feel for those families indeed and say a prayer for them today. General Jack Keane, thank you.
Health officials warning that so-called triple-demic of flu, COVID, and RSV could get even worse. So how the hospital's handling it, we'll check in on that. Plus a jet fuel shortage now affecting airports in Florida. What's behind that? The travel problems this might create unless we head it off now. So stay tuned. Coming up.
SiriusXM is home to the best in podcasts, including the Baseball Barbacast.
I'm Jake Mintz. He's Jordan Schusterman. We are Baseball Barbacast, and twice a week we will be bringing you our take on the world of baseball with some help from a famous friend or two along the way.
Baseball is thrilling. Baseball is intricate. Baseball is really weird. And in the right hands, baseball is hilarious.
Make sure you check it out, BAR-B-Cast.
Baseball Barbacast is available now on the SXM app, included with all our trials and popular plans.
At Shane Company, we've been experts in the diamond business since 1929. You can now choose between either a natural or lab-grown diamond for your engagement ring, studs, or pendant. When it comes to our new lab-grown diamonds, we apply our same superior standards and work with the best diamond vendors who've perfected the art and science of creating gorgeous diamonds in a lab. We'll show you our huge selection in every price range and help you choose the perfect diamond for you.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
With one of the best savings rates in America, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Slash to be in your band.
Next up for lead guitar. You're in.
Cool. Yep, even easier than that. And with no fees or minimums on checking and savings accounts, is it even a decision?
That's banking. Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One and a member FDIC.
This time of year can be hectic, but Harry and David makes it easy to slay the holidays with gourmet gifts for everyone on your list. Send Aunt Kathy her favorite Royal Riviera and surprise Big Brother Ben with a tower of treats. While you're at it, host a holiday soiree complete with appetizers, wine, and desserts, all delivered right to your door. Spread joy this year at harryanddavid.com and use code RADIO15 to save 15% over $49. Harry and David, LLC, Medford, Oregon.
You know, I know there are a lot of tax relief firms out there, so which one do you trust? Hey, it's your friend Sean Hannity here. Now, there's a company that wants to help. Rush Tax Resolution. Now, they have an A+ rating from the Business Bureau, and they've helped thousands of people just like you. Now, one Rush Tax client, well, let's call him Frank, he owed over $1 million, and Rush Tax Resolution was able to settle for less than $5,900. Now, if you want to find out if you qualify for the IRS settlement program, well, they'll tell you up front. Just mention Hannity and receive an IRS transcript, investigation, and analysis absolutely free. Now, Rush Tax will only take your case if they can help you, period. Same goes for you if you're a business and have payroll taxes that you owe. Well, the IRS has the power to shut down your business and come after you personally. Call somebody on your side that can truly help. They do this every day. 800-258-7050. 800-258-7050. 800-258-7050. RushTaxResolution.com.
It's time you worked with a financing partner that got to know you as a business owner. That's why at Capitus, we create personalized experiences at every step. That means you get more guidance, more insights, and more control. Because a solution isn't a solution unless it makes sense for you. It's time to think differently about financing. It's time to think Capitus. Go to Capitus.com and see how we're changing the financing landscape for small business owners across the country. That's KAPITUS.com.
Too many patients, unfortunately, have lost their lives by not having access to targeted cancer treatment. Most patients do not know all of their options. Invita's precision immunotherapy, genomics, and non-invasive surgery are working to protect and extend lives. I'm Dr. Dino Prado, and I personally welcome you to utilize our precision second opinion and discover if Invita is right for you. Visit us at Invita.com, ENVITA.com.
Oh, won't you stick with me, baby? I'm going to make a lot of bread. Buy me both money and actual bread. But right now I need dough, cause my delivery truck's dead. And by dough I need money. Trucks don't run on bread.
Owning a small business isn't always as lovely as it sounds, but with personalized discounts that save you money, Progressive Commercial keeps you humming along. Get a quote in as little as 6 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com.
I need more dough, need with an N. I need more dough, need with a K.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage and discounts not available from vehicles or states. Policy terms and conditions apply.
Laura.
Once-a-year sale with 50% off all yearly plans for a limited time.
When I rented a truck for Yellowstone to be here so that we could all enjoy it, I realized that this was a story that I certainly wanted to share.
I say when I'm done, not them.
They had unboundless, unlimited optimism.
We think we get filthy, stinking rich, boys.
Fox Nation, they give you the power. Our team embedded with Kid Rock.
There's only one thing in my life now that really matters. Sign up and start streaming today.
Newly elected LA Mayor Karen Bass on the office, taking the oath of office yesterday on the job, I should say. California Congresswoman sworn in by Vice President Kamala Harris at a ceremony in City Hall. LA's 43rd mayor, and makes history as the first woman to hold that office. She says she's ready to roll up the sleeves and get to work, especially on homelessness.
First act as mayor will be to declare a state of emergency on homelessness. A state of emergency on homelessness.
If she solves it, if she does something well for the people of LA and the homeless who have migrated, it'll be a good first step to see if she's successful or not.
And the voters there are certainly counting on that as well, so good luck to her. Also, scary moments for singer Patti LaBelle during a holiday concert in Milwaukee on Saturday night. Security rushed her off stage a few songs into the show at the Riverside Theater because of an apparent bomb threat. The place was evacuated, but a search reportedly turned up nothing. The theater says it's working to reschedule the show.
Bizarre. Meanwhile, you've got cases of flu and COVID and RSV-related illnesses on the rise across the country. They call it a triple-demic. It's putting a strain on hospitals nationwide, and health officials are warning it could get worse. I'm Brian Yes on this story here in New York. What do we need to know, Brian?
Bill, good morning. Well, the triple-demic is expected to get worse as families gather for the holidays over the next 2 weeks. Take a look at this map from the CDC. It shows little in October, and that quickly shifts to dark red and purple colors, indicating flu at high or very high levels in nearly every state. It's the earliest and hardest hitting flu we've seen in a decade, and it got far worse after Thanksgiving. According to CDC, after the holiday week, flu cases spiked 85% to 13 million. Hospitalizations spiked up to 120,000, and flu deaths surged 73%. Hospitals say they are strained. About 80% of hospital beds are in use nationwide, a rate reportedly not seen since January's Omicron surge. More people are being hospitalized for flu than COVID, but COVID hospitalizations are up 6% since Thanksgiving. As a result, Los Angeles is weighing a possible mask mandate, and New York City issued a mask advisory recommending mask use indoors in offices, stores, public transit, and even in schools. Also urging people to wear masks outside in crowded spaces. The question is whether people will listen. We went to the Rockefeller Christmas tree, the city's largest outside crowd, and found very few people wearing masks.
Not go back to masks. I'm comfortable not wearing a mask. I'm a teacher, so I feel like I'm exposed a lot, and we followed all the precautions, etc. So I feel safe. I think a lot of people are over it.
I think we're protected enough. I think we've done all that we can to do away with this flu and vaccines.
I will say you see more people wearing masks in the subways. Good news is RSV cases are coming down. They are urging people, get your flu COVID-19 booster. Bill?
It's the cold and flu season. Brian, thanks. Brian Yennis on the sidewalk of New York.
One of the biggest climate activists in the Biden administration racking up major miles on private jets. And guess who's footing the bill? Plus, a big milestone as Orion splashes down what the successful mission means for the future of spaceflight.
At Shane Company, we've been experts in the diamond business since 1929. You can now choose between either a natural or lab-grown diamond for your engagement ring, studs, or pendant. When it comes to our new lab diamonds, we apply our same superior standards and work with the best diamond vendors who've perfected the art and science of creating gorgeous diamonds in a lab. We'll show you our huge selection in every.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business. Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Attention business owners, are you sitting there right now worried about payroll this Friday? Will your customers' payments come in time to cover that payroll? Are you wondering, are my customers having cash flow issues? Are they going to file bankruptcy and we don't get paid? If you're asking yourself these questions, then you should be asking yourself, why are we not calling Amerifactors? Hi, I'm Kevin Goen, president of Amerifactors. At Amerifactors, we will advance you the cash you need on the day you generate your invoices for the goods or services that you provide, and we wait to get paid. Also with Amerifactors, if your customers can't or won't pay, then you don't have to pay us back. We take the loss, not you. So if you want to stop worrying about your money and your customers, and you want to grow your business, call Amerifactors at 800-884-3863. That's Amerifactors, 800-3863, or Amerifactors.com for approval and funding within 24 hours.
Hi, Ruby here to talk about the labor shortage. It's impacting literally every industry. And that lack of labor means missed calls, long wait times, unanswered questions, in other words, poor customer experiences. Now, if you own a business, here's what you can do about it. Before you invest in more infrastructure or more ads, before you invest in anything, invest in the only surefire way to boost your business, better customer service. We're Ruby, the live virtual receptionist company, and we basically invented better customer service. We answer all your calls and chats 24/7. We take messages and transfer calls, just like an in-house receptionist, only better, because we turn every interaction into the kind of experience people actually want to tell their friends about. Experience Ruby for yourself. Visit Ruby.com, or better yet, call us, 866-GET-RUBY.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for MediShare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. MediShare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. Very, very smart use in 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 844-61-BIBLE. That's 844-61-BIBLE. 844-61-BIBLE.
Hi, I'm Joe Perillo with JoePerillo.com. We know many of you are searching for just that right pre-owned luxury vehicle. That's why I want to tell you about JoePerillo.com. At JoePerillo.com, you can browse our huge selection of curated luxury vehicles. JoePerillo.com is based in Chicago, but we ship cars all over the country. Check out JoePerillo.com. That's Joe Perillo, P-E-R-I-L-L-O. Or dial 312-BMW-1111. That's 312-BMW-1111. 312-BMW-1111.
Pundits say this new decade may be another lost decade for the stock market, meaning stocks could be going nowhere for a long time. Well, if you're interested in stacking up consistent growth in income, no matter what kind of market, it's time you discovered my Money Press method. Hi, it's Preston James, and the Money Press has to be the Tesla of all growth and income strategies. It cranks out consistent weekly income, lets you sleep like a baby